Alright guys, what's up? Welcome to the Council Gamers live show, and we've got our wonderful guests here. We've of course got Walshy 304 this time around, the return of Goldenboy, because you all love him so much. I know I love him. And we have ex-Halo Pro, maybe future COD Pro, Flamesword, on the show. But guys, what is going on? How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Doing good? So, 343, like, Guilty Spark Ray literally just posted in the chat. We got brand new news. This wasn't even planned on being covered, but in the Halo Waypoint Bulletin, 343 actually just announced their ranking system. So I'm going to read what it says here. This is the first time I'm reading it, so we're going to decipher this together. Total change of pace, going off the cuff. So the CSR is the competitive skill rank. They say they've been working closely with several internal teams, probably that means Bravo, and optimizing the ranking system, working to integrate it into your Waypoint player profile. It says you'll have a unique CSR visible per playlist. Your highest CSR across all playlists will be promoted in the player profile on Halo Waypoint. Uses the familiar 1 to 50 scale. When CSR launches, everyone will start with a fresh rating. So it sounds like we're going to have a 1 through 50 ranking system, but it's not actually going to be in-game. The targeted launch date for CSR is April 2013, and we'll be reconfiguring some of our more competitive playlists to accommodate the launch of the feature. Halo 4 skill ranks, targeted April 2013. What do you guys think? First impressions. Is this what we needed? Is this going to save it?
I don't think it's going to save it. I think that it has to be shown on the game.
Yeah.
I mean, pro players and, you know, the crazy YouTuber people who play video games have, like, the dual screen going on, but not everyone has a dual screen where it's they got their Xbox and then a computer next to them where, hey, let me go to Halo Waypoint. Let me see if I'm climbing up the ranks.
Right.
So I think that's kind of whack that they're not implementing it on there. Of course, you could also go to Halo Waypoint through your 360, but who wants to play one game of Halo, dashboard to the Halo Waypoint, and then start the game back up and restart, and just endless loop of doing that process. I think it's a good move, but I mean, I think it should be shown on the game.
I agree it should be shown on the game, but the way I see probably Waypoint trying to do this is they're probably trying to bring more popularity to their website, whereas everyone used to know Bungie.net. It used to be so popular, and they're probably trying to build their fan base a bit more on Halo Waypoint. So at this point they realize, okay, people love rankings, people love skill. This is going to get people going on there regularly, getting more acclimated with the website, getting used to checking stats on there. And obviously, I know for a fact, I don't have Halo Waypoint up when I'm playing right now, but if there's rankings out and I'm playing ranked games, I'm going to be checking that, refreshing it pretty much every 10 minutes. So I think that's probably part of their reasoning.
I also think, I mean,
Go ahead.
do they have a leaderboards or is it just your rank? And then can you see across everyone's rank type of deal? Did it say in there, Frank, or no?
It sounds like they've just announced the rank, and you'll be able to see it on your profile per playlist.
Got it. See, that'd be pretty cool if they brought it, like, in... I think they should try to imitate the Halo 2 days where you had the leaderboards for every playlist, and then you have your own rank, obviously. That would, I mean, if... Obviously, it is what Dave just said, is they are going to try to generate people to come to their site since it is a new site and it's not Bungie anymore. But if they really want to go for that, I think they should throw in the leaderboards as well. So then you're constantly checking, am I moving up? How many points am I behind on experience and whatnot?
Yeah, that'd be nice. And if at least, you know, at the very minimum, maybe have it like per friends list, so you can just see all your friends list ranks and go about it that way if they don't want to do global leaderboards. But yeah, so it's nice. I think it's kind of like, oh, yay, we have ranks, but it's not what everyone sort of wanted or had in mind.
I don't see why they don't just take a page from League of Legends book where you only show your elo if it's over a certain amount. For example, I believe like you have to have 1,300 elo or something. Other than that, it just doesn't even show that you played ranked games. So I feel like that would even be a good way where if they're trying to avoid embarrassment for like noobs, like people like in mock for like low levels, it only will show if you have a rank or a level of 35 or above or something to that effect.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great compromise.
I think the actual reason why we're not seeing it in-game, and again, this is just speculation on my part and sort of what I've heard or seen posted on forums, the actual Halo 4 UI doesn't allow for, or they didn't plan for it to include that visual rank anywhere on it. So there's no place they could actually like put it on your little player card within the user interface itself. So that's why it's going to be an online only thing.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's true.
So yeah,
No flexibility is a bad thing, though. Like you should have, you knew that this was something being asked for. Why ignore it? And then not to have the flexibility to be able to include something like that in game. Like I feel like in game is more important than going to a website. No one used what was the name of it? Totally blanking out on the name of the Call of Duty thing, but that was how unimportant it was. The hell was the name of that thing? I totally forgot.
I have no idea.
Anyway, the Call of Duty website that they had, where you would go and Elite. There you go. That crap.
Yeah.
So there you go. That showed how important it was, and like it was useless. Like I really didn't go on there to use it to like play on it or anything like that, or just to like set up matches. No, like there's no point. So I don't know, but also though I think the Halo fan base and all that stuff is a little bit different, and I think that there's a lot of different flavors of Halo fans out there. They're the fans who enjoy the single player. They're fans who enjoy like forging and different aspects of Halo. So I could see how it could benefit them. But I would be preferable it go into the game itself. But whatever.
And keep in mind, this is in 4 months. And I don't know if it'll even be relevant by then. If people who are still playing the game will even, it's going to be nice that they have it in, and I'm really appreciative that they're, doing it. It's something we asked for, and they're patching it in. But 6 months, 7 months out from the game's release, and it's not even visible in game. A lot of new players or players might not even know about it. Like players who don't check Waypoint might not even see. So it's weird, awkward situation, but it's nice that they're doing it. We also have we'll talk about it later, but title update in February, so that'll be good. But we'll talk about the more exciting news this weekend. Flamesword himself will be there. The Arena Gaming League Chicago event. And recently, I want to talk about this because this is what blew my mind, and I didn't honestly catch all of their stream, so maybe chat or you guys can fill me in. Apparently, they announced that they're going to have 10 events this year. I have no idea how that's going to pan out, but that's got to be exciting for people who want to travel to tournaments. And from what I've heard, they're sort of splitting it up by region. So there's going to be a west, midwest, south, and east sort of location for the event. But what do you guys think about 10 events? Is that going to be something that people keep interest in? Is Halo 4 going to last that long? What do you guys think?
Dave, you take this one first.
10 events seems excessive to a degree, but they also have, 44 teams already signed up of their expected 48 or maxed out 48 for this first event. Halo started out with many smaller local events. Let's look back at 2005 for MLG, for example. They had 13 events, and they only had, I believe it's Halo and Smash at these events. I don't even know if they had Smash at every single one. Pretty sure they did. But they still had big numbers there, and maybe that's something that Halo needs. I mean, smaller grassroots events with just sort of the hardcore community and taking a bit more advantage of the streaming aspect of these. I didn't really know about the AGL Chicago till a bit later, and then at the same time, I also already have plans this weekend, so I wouldn't be able to make it. But I think that's something we need to take advantage of every event we can have and make the most of them. I mean, if you look at some of these other top games, obviously StarCraft, League of Legends, first that come to mind, they don't always have to have the biggest live event games. Even like Goldenboy doing all the stuff at IGN, they do that stuff with StarCraft, League, Shoot Mania, which you're working with, and all that, any sort of content, any sort of events, any sort of exposure for professional gaming scene for each of those games, it adds up real fast. So I'm not going to discourage them from doing that many events, but I hope they plan their locations correctly. I hope that they get the word out enough to the local teams, because for the prize monies that they're giving out, which is $5,000 for first, I read, you're not going to get tons of teams that are going to be able to fly all across the country for these kind of prize pools. But if you get the word out correctly, if you know your local demographics, they should be able to fill up those rosters like 48 teams per event. So I don't think it's excessive if they have their I don't know if they have their goals set realistically.
If I'm looking at it right now, I see this as like a great way to build their following. So they're going to be sort of in the internet's eye, not, the public eye, but like on stream, 10 events throughout the year. It's going to give something for the fans to watch constantly. So I don't even think they're worried about filling out the brackets or anything like that. I think they're just trying to get that exposure and sort of get the following behind it to maybe then next year announce maybe they only have 5 big events, but they have this following now to where people know the locations, know where to travel to, and can kind of build that way. So if that's what they're planning, I think it's really smart. But if they're planning on filling out, 24 or 48 teams every event, I think that's going to be hard and maybe a bit unrealistic. But I think for the internet's sake, it's great. And it reminds me a lot of like how the fighting game community sort of exists, where there's just tournaments every weekend, and not every tournament's huge, but it gives people something to watch. So we'll go into the teams a bit. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to say something real fast. When you look at the way what's going on with Halo right now, right? It's really hitting the community very hard, and I think AGL is your equivalent to what UMG was for us in Call of Duty. When MLG basically just stopped supporting COD and just didn't exist anymore in their eyes. We had to do it on our own, and there were a lot of community members out there that were just like, you know what, we're going to make this happen. And UMG was started, and it was kind of birthed as our like go-to event in the United States, while EGL was seeing a lot of success overseas with Call of Duty as like their forefront game. And I think that is something that the Halo community really needs to approach and embrace. It's like, you know what, right now, and it's like what Walsh said, you're in the rebuilding phase, and now it's like time to rebuild properly, time to not allow one company to completely control everything that we do, the content that we make, the places where we go and talk about our favorite games and players and teams and yada yada. You need to start rebuilding it from scratch, and that is basically what's going on right now with Halo. I think AGL, is going to be a fantastic extension of that. And so long as they keep consistent with the events and the prizes, and they will build up steam, and people will start to appreciate what AGL is doing, and the sponsors will come, the money will come, and things will happen. It happened with UMG. It can happen with AGL 100%, and I strongly support what they're doing.
Nice. Yeah.
I agree with all that. I feel like if AGL actually didn't do these 10 events, Halo would be pretty in trouble. I feel like the community is kind of really, really down just because, Reach was kind of a disappointment to a lot of people because of the whole sprint and bloom. And then Halo 4 came out. People were crazy about it the first, week. A lot of people kind of enjoy the tournament, but then after that, it's like if you play into the playlist, it's 4 maps type of deal, and it's just over and over the same thing, and the community slowly dropped out. So I think if they weren't going to do this, the community would definitely crash and burn. I don't feel like the community had the heart to try to rebuild something without someone like AGO coming in out of nowhere to run tournaments, because a lot of people are just getting bored and disappointed with the past 2 titles.
Yeah. So surprisingly, I was surprised by like the teams showing up to this. Hanzoku recently just announced today that they weren't going, or at least that their roster, which they posted earlier, isn't going to be the final one. Originally, it was Alumnite, Dursky, Neighbor, and Hoaxer, but I believe Hoaxer is now looking to team with someone else, so that team sort of fell apart. But there's still 4 big teams. Pulse Ambush, which is Heinz, Formal, APG, and Snipedown. Warriors, which were the Dallas champions. Ninja, Ryan Noob, Goofy, and Legit. Legendary is Kobe, Sargoth, Pistola, and Lunchbox. Then we got Status Quo, Flamesword, Enable, Victory X, and Fear itself. So we'll go to Status Quo last. We'll save that. Save the best for last, maybe. We'll see. But any team stick out?
We're switching our team name as well to Halo 3 Gods.
Halo 3 Gods?
Possibly might be the team name.
I like it. Yeah, so any teams jump out at you? I know I'm excited to see Pulse play and Warriors to see if they still carry their momentum from Dallas, but any predictions from you guys?
Pretty excited to see Legendary play. At first going to this AGL, we were trying to pick up Roy and Lunchbox. Roy said he would kind of do it, but then ended up saying he had school starting up and all that, so he said no. And he said his brother wasn't going to go. And I mean, his brother's really good friends with Kobe, so I could see why they made that team. And then Pistola came out like a week after he was on that team with Devin, and I guess they dropped Devin. So I'm actually pretty excited to see that team. I feel like that team's been playing almost every day. I think Kobe really wants to win this tournament, and Lunchbox and Pistola really want to help him win and get really his big first win for any kind of tournament. So I'm going to see them probably doing probably one of the best out of all the teams going.
And I'm not sure if Sargot, if you would say he really broke out at the Reach AGL, but he was definitely, that was a tournament where he sort of, just given the scenario and the environment, sort of got to shine more, or at least got some more exposure there. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can like carry that trend with being pretty dominant at AGL. So yeah, that's a pretty good team to look out for. What do you think about Warriors? How are they going to do?
I think this is a proving tournament for them.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say the exact same.
Because a lot of people, you know, kind of doubted them after the first event. Like, if the community was split. Half the community was saying they're the best, they deserve to win. The other half was saying, oh, you know, they only won because of, you know, prior playing or something. But I think that it's pretty evident that Ninja plays a ton. They obviously have a crew of all very talented players as long as they put the time into it. So I expect them being top 2.
Yeah, I can see that. Now
They definitely put in the most hours. I mean, because AGL.
Like, anything less of top 2 for that team, I think, would be a complete disappointment for them because, I mean, Ninja streams like all the time and he's always playing. And the work that's being put into it, I'm pretty sure like they want to take this one. Because when you win a big tournament like that and then you're going to the next, you know, big event and it's like you come up short, then all the fingers are going to be pointing at you. The community is going to be like pretty rebellious against them. I mean, then the trolls will just get worse, and it goes from there.
Especially with the drama surrounding that win, you know, people saying they had the game early, and then we saw, you know, like Status Quo and Enable didn't even know how to call down his ordnance in that free-for-all he was playing. So, and then, you know, you got people making, like Nated, making all these crazy jumps around maps because he got to test the game and everything like that and helped, you know, write the guide. So it'll be interesting to see how the dust settles on this. But Victory X and Fear Itself are 2 names I haven't really heard much about in a long time. So do you want to talk about that at all, that decision, or how confident you are with those guys?
Basically, I mean, Roy said he had the school thing, and so it was going to be initially after the Roy backed out with, before Roy backed out saying his brother's not going to go, it was going to be Roy and Fear Itself. And then Roy ended up doing the whole thing because he had school and whatnot. So we're like, whatever. And then Fear Itself and Victory are roommates. They still have their station set up, which I don't think they use much. So
watch Netflix on it.
Let's team one more time. Let's play Halo one more time, for you guys at least. Nice. And they were like, yeah, they're down. It's in Chicago. You know, they live out there. So let's do it. We've honestly only played maybe 3-4 times. Everyone's pretty crazy schedule and whatnot. But we've definitely gotten better since the first 2 times. A lot of the dust has come off them. So, I mean, it should be exciting to see what we could place. If we somehow outplace Warriors, then that exhibition win that they got is just a total hoax, and I'll probably never let it down. I'll probably, like, get an Xbox case and put, like, the Halo 5 number on it, and an early version of the game, and just hand it to them and whatnot. But I'm excited to play with them. I mean, before their whole downfall and Reach, they were the 3-time winners at the end of Halo 3. So, I mean, they definitely know how to play Halo. I feel Halo 4, because of the ordnance drops of the settings, is just armor abilities and whatnot, that it's like more of Halo 3 style where you got to play kind of smart. There are some game types, though, unfortunately, like that. It's just newer and not like the old Halos, like oddball with instant respawn.
Right.
So it's like really no setups, and it's like you just throw the ball, and like that's just our worst game type. But after playing for 4 or 5 days, we feel a lot better than the first day, that's for sure. So, I mean, I think we could pull off a top 3, and then if we win it, that'd be crazy.
That would be sick. I'm rooting for you guys, just as the whole underdog thing. and those two guys coming back that haven't touched the game in a while should be pretty. It's going to be fun to watch. If nothing else, it's going to be awesome. Any game types you guys? I mean, you said oddball feels a little weird, a little weak. What do you guys feel that you're strongest at?
Feel we're strongest at extraction. A lot of these game types are important with pretty much the clock time, so you have to really pay attention to the clock power weapons. Like, for example, extraction on Haven, the railgun plays a big part, I feel. If you get good with the railgun, you could hold it down. The extraction game type's cool because I started playing Call of Duty, and I feel like extraction is kind of like a hard point with like a Halo flavor to it, where it's like you plant the bomb and then you want to force the team to spawn in a certain location, so it takes them the longest time to get back to the point to where they can extract it, and then vice versa. But I feel like timing is one of the most important things so far on extraction, because you always want the power weapons. And for all the people, Halo 4 timer is a pretty good app to use for it that we've been using, because I mean, we don't know any of the times, so we needed something. And then hopefully Towie coaches us, because we need, God, a great coach, and hopefully he'll be using it. So
what's the website where? Because we'll be honest, what's the website where you can pick up Halo 4 timer?
I believe the website is halo4timer.com, and then
Okay.
everything's there. You could find everything else you need to go from there. But like, that basically say this, because when we first got it, we knew nothing about. We were like, dude, when does the overshield spawn? When's the railgun come up? When's the sniper come up? Because we were getting like, the other team was getting 3 snipes on us, and we're like, dude, what is this? What are we doing wrong? And then that thing saved us a bit. Definitely helped us play a lot better.
So I want to talk to Walshy a bit about extraction. Like, what are your thoughts on the game type? And do you think, I mean, status quo talking about, we got Flamesword talking about playing smart, and then their best game type is extraction. So I'm going to connect the dots and say that that's the smartest game type offered right now. But what do you think about it? Is that something that should be featured more, or do you think it's sort of like a fad game type that just because it's new, people like it?
No, I really do think it's a great game type. From the little I've played it, I played mainly a lot of times on Station 9 when that map was in the rotation of the game types. But, I mean, I played on Haven, and I feel like some of the locations might not be ideal for, like, arming and disarming, but at the same time, it changes up the pace of the game. It really makes you look at it different, because you have to determine how to play out certain situations. You have to realize, like, you could have 4 of your teammates dead, and you could be the one, you could stop the disarm, because if you place yourself right. So it enables a lot of exciting plays, which is great for the players, and then also for the viewership. It's not just the same bland thing over and over again, which I felt some oddball games actually kind of got to. Like in Halo 3, I felt midship oddball was a great game type. Me and Flame actually disagree on this heavily, but I feel that it was very boring to watch from viewership, so we have to look at kind of both angles for that.
That's a good point. Like, viewership wise, maybe Goldenboy kind of been quiet, but you can touch on it. I know you talked about it last time, but the Call of Duty settings sort of staying somewhat vanilla, bringing in more viewers, and that's been a huge debate between, you know, using the BR and having different loadouts. So from an outsider perspective, from coming in and being that view on the game, do you think that it'd be better for us to sort of keep more weapons and more things in it, or keep it vanilla
Keep it as
and go
vanilla
for
as
pure,
possible. Yeah.
pure, and that's cool?
I mean, the thing is, though, you want to make sure that right now what it is and what Halo needs to do, it's, you know, I said it before, I say it again, it's in a rebuilding phase, and that's very important to keep in mind moving forward. Now, I don't know what the general consensus is on ordnance drops within the community, or how the weapons are placed in the map, and, you know, I'm disconnected with that. But as someone who, I play Halo with my wife all the time, like, she's a big Halo fan, she plays Halo, like, you know, religiously with her brother, and she actually gets, like, she doesn't like Halo 4 as much as she enjoys, like, Halo 3. And one of the things is because of the ordnance drops. They, like, agitate her because she hates the fact that she hates when people run away from a fight. She calls them, like, you know,
even the wives, wives hating on Halo 4. You can't be mad at the Halo Council. Look, we got wives saying ordnance drops are whack.
She doesn't like it. But, you know, like, when I told her the benefits of it, she was like, all right, fine, but I still think it's stupid. That was, like, her mindset. So I think that maybe you know, try one without, try without. It's all about testing, right? And the community is like going to be the one responsible for that. Test it out. Try out new things. Try out events without ordnance drops, or try competing in scrims without ordnance, without it, and see like how it changes the game. I think personally that keeping the game as not I mean, as vanilla as possible is beneficial to grabbing in the general audience, which Halo could desperately use right now. But at the same time, you don't want to sacrifice, you know, the competitive nature of what Halo is. So you don't want to. It's a fine line that you're going to have to meet, and it's a balance that needs to be met. And I think that over time that will be accomplished, just not right away, because there's really only been one major event for Halo 4, and that was MLG Dallas, and then now AGL. So let's see how it plays out at AGL, and then I think changes will be made from there because people will voice their opinions.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. And we'll go to the next thing. The next event after that, which is February 16th and the 17th, Walshy and myself will be attending, is the Gamers Outreach LAN. Walshy, you're kind of a seasoned vet to this. I'm new to this, so maybe you want to talk about what it is and let the people know what to expect from that.
Yeah, so Gamers Outreach is the charity I'm on the board of directors for, and we hold an annual fundraising event every year called Gamers for Giving. And it consists of a LAN along with tournaments. And it's always been, well, we first started off just doing like Halo, and it's expanded now. We have, this year we have a StarCraft 2 tournament, League of Legends, Call of Duty, and Halo event. And we've sold out every single year as far as passes for the tournament, along with LAN passes. And we have great sponsors that come out. There's like Astro and Intel this year. We have great raffle prizes, and this year I believe our goal is to raise $15,000 for Gamers Outreach, and we use that to build gaming carts, which is hospital kiosk on wheels with an Xbox 360 and TV, and basically we donate them to children's hospitals, which I actually raised enough money to donate one recently, right around Christmas time, to the local one in Grand Rapids. But it's a great cause, great fun time we have out there. We have a bunch of great people come out, and Zach's the man. He's the one that does pretty much 99% of the work and puts this all together and makes it possible. But yeah, we figure a lot of people come out there, and they're not only able to compete in a great Halo event that's run well, but they also get to donate towards a great charity.
Nice. Yeah. I'm excited to head out again for the details. If you're interested in the Halo side, there's also going to be StarCraft 2, League of Legends, Black Ops 2, but Halo is a 4v4. Your entrance money, from what I understand, goes straight to the charity, and then everything else is sort of the prize money's covered from sponsors. So first place is taking home $1,500, and $750 goes to second place. And we've sort of taken MLG settings and tweaked them a bit so that there's more starting weapons. There's even like an AR loadout to try to get, you know, people who might not be as competitive or not even know about the MLG settings to be able to pick it up and play. So that's the details on that. But guys, I think we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back, and when we come back, we're going to, of course, you know, stay true to the Halo community, and we're going to yell at Flamesword for saying he's going to play COD, and we're just going to call him we're just going to call him names for the next 30 minutes. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to find out how that's going and see what's up with him. And if you guys missed the beginning of the show, I'm posting a link in chat. 1 through 50 ranks have been announced on Halo Waypoint, so check that out. But we'll be back in a minute, guys. Talk to you later. All right, what's up, guys? We're back. First off, big shout out to Optic Hex. He just tweeted out the stream, so we're gonna switch the order of things a little bit. But first, Goldenboy, did you want to talk about anything? Do we have anything to talk about? Is there anything we can talk about?
Yeah. So we are going to be me and Frank actually. We're going to be working with Virgin Gaming on the 9th of February. We're going to go out to their big event that's going down over in Vegas, and we're pretty much all set and ready to go. We're just waiting on a few things. So for right now, it's pretty much confirmed. We're going to be commentating NHL.
Yep.
NHL 13, me and Frank. So expect that one to be fun.
Yeah, by EA Sports, man. That's going to be sick.
Yeah, and it is Virgin Gaming. So if you guys know anything about Virgin Gaming, then you know why I chose Frank to go down there. So that's pretty much it for right now.
Yep. I'll probably post get it in text form somewhere, on my Twitter, and let you guys know, the date and when the time, so you can check it out. But I'm so pumped for that, man. That's gonna be an absolute blast in Vegas, commentating NHL 13 for Virgin Gaming, dude. It made my year already. It's like the first month.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's Vegas, man. It's Vegas.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. What happens in Vegas gets streamed from Vegas. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. So all right, we'll get into MLG a little bit and Call of Duty. We'll talk about the Halo 4 title update stuff towards the end here. But MLG, announced that for their 2013 season, not just Dallas, the entire year, Black Ops 2 is going to be their console shooter, their first-person shooter title. We know of a couple pros who have been playing COD. Ninja's been playing on stream. Mickwin's been talking about how he gets destroyed in it. I'm going to fire shots at him. But recently, Flamesword here has been talking about picking up the game. So talk about, why make the switch?
So I've watched just few Call of Duties just in the past because I like to enjoy watching just any other console shooters. So I kind of kept up with the scene. Black Ops 2 is really the first one I have actually played. I dabbled my feet a little in Modern Warfare 2 and 3, but maybe one day of dabbling. And then Black Ops 2 just came out and wanted to try it because kind of had a feeling that it would get picked up over Halo or something with Halo would go crazy and whatnot like it did. And just wanted to pick it up and try to see if I could make it pro and whatnot because so far from playing it, I've enjoyed it mainly because it's I'm supposed to not be good and I'm supposed to be an H2 noob all over again, slowly climbing up the ranks until Black Ops 3, Halo 3 comes out and then somehow I go pro and whatnot. But now maybe with more experience of knowing how to play games better and shooters, I could possibly make it a lot quicker. This one's a lot of fun in my opinion, and me and Enable at first were playing together, just me and him. We didn't know if our team was going to switch over to it now, but now they are, so status quo will probably compete at Dallas, but we'll have to see.
That'd be sick, man. So the potential to have the full status quo roster in effect playing Black Ops. So do you think that it's an easy transition? Has it been do you pick it up sort of at least your fundamentals, your aim and map movement and sort of positioning? Does that carry over at all from Halo, or is it kind of relearning to walk?
I think it's kind of almost a rewalk, learning how to walk again. Shooting definitely kind of does come over, but when you're zoomed in, you really don't have a cursor, so it's kind of I've played Battlefield, so I kind of have experience with these type of games, I feel. For a lot of the Halo players, we've played Ryan, Noob, Goofy the other day, and they were really bad, I have to say.
Yeah.
And, positioning is a whole new thing. That's what COD is famous for, I believe, so far since what I've been playing. I feel like my shot's pretty good, and Enable always says he feels his shot's really good. But the reason some people have more of an advantage when we get play with them is because they just have an understanding of what they should be doing on the maps and whatnot so far. Me and Enable, I feel, are probably the two best Halo players that have transferred over already. And because of that, Snakebite and Ruler 2 hopefully could pick up pretty quickly over the other guys, since we've been trying to play with them the past week. It definitely is a different learning curve. Both games take their points, attributes that you need to be good. And Call of Duty, definitely there's definitely is a learning curve to it, and you definitely have to know a lot about it to be successful in it, I believe.
What's your gun? What's your baby? What are you going to nowadays?
I swapped through a lot of things. I mean, I'll use the Scorpion, which Crimsix told me sucks on land, so try to stop using it. But then if I'm not using that, I'll use the MSMC, PDW, and then with an assault rifle, I just switch it every day or every game just to like screw around and see which one works best for me, because there's the M8, which is a burst gun, so it's supposed to kind of be like the BR, and you put a stock on it, so you kind of move like Halo. But for some odd reason, I can't use it really properly or whatever.
I feel the same way. By the way. Like everyone's like, use stock. I'm like, I can't do that.
So there's something about the M8 that I just haven't been able to figure out. So I swapped to the SWAT, which the M8 is a 4-round burst, I believe, and the SWAT is a 3-round burst. And I put stock in that one, and I feel like a lot better with that one because I don't get that extra burst bullet. The gun doesn't flicker on me so much.
Interesting. Because I know Goldenboy, you tweeted out a few days ago that you just couldn't find that gun that you wanted to use, and
it's weird, dude. It's weird. It just can't. Nothing feels right at all when I'm playing. Like it just feels awkward. What is it? I think I use like the MSMC. Reminds me of the AK-74U from Black Ops. So like I like that one. But I just can't find a gun to use. I like the AN-94, but it's not as good as it should be. I'm a huge AK fan. Like any game with an AK, I like using it.
Yeah.
And and I use it in Black Ops and also the FAMAS like everyone else did.
The AN is pretty dope.
The AN is dope, but it's like I use it in a few scrims. It just wasn't flowing too well for me. But
I feel like the first bullets shoot off really fast, so like if they're kind of in medium range, you like pick them off pretty quick. But then after that, you kind of hear the gun just start slowing down on its own, and then it's like whatever. But those first bullets that come out of it sound pretty awesome because they just freaking pin people down.
You need to figure out like a double shot glitch for the AN-94 where you like YY and get double bursts out of it.
That would be pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, and that's always a cool aspect of COD that with Halo I wanted it to sort of transfer over. Like you'd have like a BR player or you had a DMR player, but it's not that way. And then of course we have BR starts now in V1, so it can't be that way. But I always liked the idea of COD that people kind of have their class and have their thing. Like how we saw, what was it, in the first Black Ops when it was at MLG. Like, the first time it was there, I saw everyone using the FAMAS, and then that got patched, and then people were using, like, shotguns and stuff. And that was really cool to see. Yeah.
They try different things. It's cool, like, when you try out new things, and it's always good to see that transition for players that discover something different. And but it only really worked on certain maps. It was like you had, like, the shotgun on Summit was, like, pretty much the only map that you could really use a shotgun effectively on. But then, like, Ego tried to use a shotgun on Havana, and it worked well because he was able to hold on one side, but it wasn't the best thing to do. Then again, Ego's bad, so.
So, I want to talk about the viewership though, because a lot of times, at least when Reach was on the circuit and Black Ops 1 was, it seemed like MLG would sort of just go with whatever they felt would pull the most viewers and attract the most audience. So like in Columbus, they knew that Halo would, be at the forefront, so they had Reach there. But then in, say, like Anaheim or something, they would go with Black Ops because the viewers would be better and they might get more teams. Since MLG has announced COD through the whole year, do you see that viewership staying high? Do you think they've sort of pigeonholed themselves, or do you think that this is like a good thing for Black Ops and that it'll just continue to build?
Well, I mean, as far as like their reasoning and picking things, if you look at it, if they went to Columbus and did not have Halo there, that would have been a huge blow to like their name. Whether they would like to admit it or not, that's just my personal opinion, but I'm pretty sure it's the opinion of a lot of other people. Columbus is Ogre City. Columbus is like the place that you like. Halo is just big there. It's fun to watch, and the crowd gets into it. So like I feel like it just would have been a big mistake. And then you saw like throughout the season, it kind of just like stagnated a little bit. Like Raleigh, for example, I was at Raleigh, and it just was not like the same.
Yeah.
Like the atmosphere, and that was another big console shooter town with Epic being there, and they had Halo last time. It was like the audiences were big. You need to have that presence. We bring such a unique feel to an event. By we, I mean console gamers. We bring hype, we bring energy. And not saying the StarCraft and League of Legends fans don't, they do, but it's like, it's almost as if it's its own beast, it's its own environment. And I think MLG knew that they needed to have that. So going with a console shooter, they went with COD. We'll see what happens. I don't know if the viewership is going to stay the same. They basically need to make sure that they put on a damn good production every single time, which, Puckett's at the helm, so I'm sure he will, because he's a hardworking guy. But it really boils down to, like, it's going to be a combination of things. The casters, it's going to be the live atmosphere too, because that's another thing that I felt like Halo Reach and Call of Duty like dropped the ball on, which was not having the casters be heard to the audience. Like, if I'm sitting down, I want to listen to what's going on and follow the action and be a live event goer and just go to an event just because I can watch and enjoy it, and that would also attract new viewers from StarCraft and League as well. So hopefully that's something that they change in the future, because I always felt like that was it put a damper on the entire event atmosphere for console shooters. So moving forward, I hope they do that.
Yeah, to me, console shooters always felt like it added this vibe of like a high school football game. Like when you're in the audience, like you kind of know everybody there and you're like familiar with everybody, and it's like, I don't like to put it in terms of like this age, like a bro fest. Like it's just like everybody and you're just bullshitting with everybody, and it's this really unique energy where you feel really like close to the people. And with the PC side of things, it feels like, I don't know, everyone sort of has their own like clique, and just the people just know like their own little group, and then you have sort of just people there just to watch. But I feel like with the console side, like everyone's like a player or everyone's a competitor, even if they're just there to spectate, so they can sort of identify. So it's always felt like a high school football game to me, is how I would describe it.
Yeah, I thought Halo 4 at Dallas was awesome. I felt like the atmosphere was crazy. Like everyone was so into it, and it was also because of that kind of high school footballish vibe that we brought to it. I mean, console gamers, it's a different atmosphere, it's a different feel, but hey, everyone has their taste, right? So it's not a bad thing.
I think one of the coolest things and one of the best things that will help viewers actually is the Halo team switching over. That's going to drive viewers up. It's going to bring an audience over. It's going to be sick for storylines. The casters talking about, status quo just took out Optic. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
I think something like that will help
know.
temporarily. I mean, we saw small spikes of that when Halo Reach came out, and we'd hear of like the Optic squads trying to compete in Halo. But I don't want to get anyone's hopes down, but I really think that a lot of these top COD teams are going to still dominate, especially early on. Like, that's not even a question. And I can't personally see any of these 4-man Halo squads going over. Like, you guys have this mindset, like, me and Enable, Snake Fight, and World 2 are going to go over, we're going to dominate Optic, and not having that mindset, but I'm just saying that it's probably not going to happen. I think a few select Halo people will be able to adapt and get onto a top team and dominate, but I can't see any 4-man squads that are currently in Halo switch over. And almost a testament to what Goldenboy says, I think some of this is happening because we were a bit too dependent on MLG. MLG was the only league for Halo. And this, obviously, Halo being off circuit for MLG isn't a good thing, but I try to look on the bright side of things and look at it as, one, it gives us a chance to rebuild and become a bit more independent from MLG. 2, hopefully 343, with title updates and different rankings, all different playlists, we can actually have a game that is a bit more worthy of being tournament worthy, not only with MLG, but with other leagues as well. I would love to see this game explode, like we see Virgin get involved with this recent event. I would love to see all these other leagues get involved, possibly like IPL, MLG picking it back up. I would love, we have AGL. So I think we have to look at it realistically, like we're in a building phase. A lot of people out there have a pessimistic viewpoint here, like, oh, Halo's dead, it's just over. And I think 343 is going to actually, look at some of the stuff. They're going to look at, wow, we're not at MLG anymore. if our playlist numbers are going down, they're gonna look and see if people are playing that, and they're gonna make the correct changes if they aren't. And I really hope that they really pay attention to this because they do have to realize that COD had a great amount of sales. They realize that David Bonderhar pays close attention to the esports scene. He knows all the top pros. He takes input. He has consulting with Hastro over on this last game. And you know what? That could be something that 343 finally looks at and be like, oh, wow, our competitor's doing this. They're doing great at it. We need to start looking into this. So even if it's a small dip in the road, I really think that it could possibly be even better for us in the future rather than Halo being able to coast along and us just going to MLGs because that's all we know. I'd really like to see some other leagues flourish. I'd love to see the Halo scene in general get bigger because even myself, I can't even include myself in some of the content producers' shoes. I think there's some great people out there like Halo Council, like Bravo, I think like Nicky Eli, Campy, a bunch of these other guys that were doing the YouTube scene, and like Ninja for the Twitch scene, but not many of us out there, or the community in general, hasn't had the content production because we've been so dependent on MLG, whereas you look at Call of Duty scene, you have Gold Glove, X-Jaws, you know, all these there's so many, T. Martin, Nade Shot, so many great content producers out there because they've had to make their way, you know, without a league supporting them. And I think that could hopefully help Halo a bit. We have to realize, like, all right, well, we're not going to get help from anyone else. You know, we have some leagues out there like AGL and stuff that are making some good strides, but we're not going to have it as easy as before. And this could be a good wake-up call for us. And hopefully also for 343 and making some changes that we need with a correct title update, you know, toning down Bolt Shot, just doing all these changes that would help us so much and is really needed.
Yeah, and that brings us, actually, you just mentioned, like, the title update. I was going to talk about that to sort of wrap it up the night with some Halo 4 talk, since I know we got a split audience watching, but... So the title update is coming in the end of February, for anyone who didn't know. File shares are going to be fixed at the end of the month, which is going to be huge just for everyone to share game types and maps. And to speak on the maps, Bravo and the cartographers, community cartographers are like the people who sort of play test the maps for that Community Forge test playlist that just got released. So
best playlist, hands down.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That playlist is a really nice step, like, in the right direction, and it's the second highest playlist now behind Big Team Battle. So I think that's sort of, or maybe you guys think differently, but do you think that's gonna, like, push 343 to be like, oh, the community does know what they're talking about? I mean, it's called the Community Forge test. Like, it's what we put into the game, and that, you know, Bravo and the cartographers approved, and it's the second highest playlist already. Do you think that will open up 343's eyes a bit to be like, oh, these guys, they might know a little bit. They might have an idea of what to do in the game?
I think so. I mean, I think they're going to realize that, you know, you need that multi-playlist type of deal where you could get any type of game type as opposed to just choosing what you want. Because, I mean, right now you're limited to the maps, but because, you know, you have all these Forge maps, it works that you can play so many different game types on them, so it's not... They just throw in 4 community maps. You can only play Infinity Slayer, and then it's like you played all 4 of them after one whole day, and the next day you're like, I don't want to play them anymore. But because there's different game types in that playlist, it's like you're playing the map completely different because you got to learn about it and how you should play it.
Yeah. I think that's a big pull, too. Like, from the beginning, like, after, like, 2 weeks, I felt the playlist they gave us just felt stale, since you kind of knew what you were getting, and you'd have to switch playlists to switch game types. And things like that. So it's rough. It's kind of like rough to see or to think that the stuff we were saying since like week 2 of the game is now just finally getting heard or sort of implemented. But I think it's a step in the right direction. So is there anything that you guys see that would sort of put this game back in the spotlight? Because it dropped to number 4 on the Xbox like most played list. It's behind Black Ops, Minecraft, and FIFA. So, I mean, what do you guys think to put it back up in, like, the 1 or 2 spot? What's it going to take?
I think it's going to be pretty hard. It's going to be extremely hard because, I mean, numbers keep dropping slowly. If the community somehow just gets more into this whole rank thing, and with the whole ranking, going to the website, seeing that they are listening to the community and they are trying all their stuff, and then implement whatever they can if possible. Uh, Hopefully it could go back up, but I mean, it's gonna be tough. The initial first blow is kind of hit already, and it damaged a lot of people. But like I haven't played Halo until this new community playlist came out, so maybe for a lot of other people it'll be the same thing.
Yeah. Anything, Golden Boy, from your perspective? What do you think I mean, I think this is a good step in the right direction. I mean, anything to keep, anything to keep the community that's still around right now together is, I think, what's important, just to keep that core in there.
Yeah. I think that the obviously including something like that is great. Like putting in these new maps, I actually hadn't had a chance to check them out myself, but I just came back from New York. But I had heard about them and I saw it on when I was I saw it being mentioned, and I thought, man, this is actually like really good. Like finally some maps that I would like to play. And also, I mean, I'm just gonna take a step back for a second, and I freaking love the way that the Forge looks. Like the way that the maps are laid out, just like the art style. I just wanted to point that out because I hated Halo Reach Forge. Like all the grays and the freaking gray. I mean, it was so bad. It was so gray. Like it was sickening how gray it was. And I appreciate the forgers that did everything that they could to put some green in those maps because Lord behold, it was the worst thing. So yeah, I like the way it looks. I just like the art style. But in any case, so it does look a little hospital roomish, but it's cool. In any case, so I feel like including these maps in there are going to give 343 the idea like, okay, the community understands like this is what they're going to want to play. This is enjoyable to them. But I was going to make a point earlier, and I feel as if it's something that needs to be stated. Halo 4 is as much as it is the rebirth of Master Chief, the rebirth of the series and all that stuff. It really was a giant test run to see how well 343 is going to do in actually making a Halo game that people are going to enjoy and like. And I think that they're looking at everything right now and they're thinking to themselves, yeah, we kind of dropped the ball on a few things. Let's go back and work on some stuff. And I think that that moving on with Halo 5 and 6, as far as the saga, the new trilogy is concerned, they're going to take a few more calculated risks. I shouldn't say calculated risks because they took a lot of risks this time around. But I feel like as far as bringing people back in, like constantly putting it out there is going to be big. Like, for example, they have Season 2, I believe, or the end of the season. Oh my God, the Spartan Ops, it's actually going to be closing out, and then Season 2 is going to come back. Microsoft is going to be pushing that heavily, and that should bring in some new fans or returning fans into the game to check it out. And then they're going to come for that, and then they're going to stay for the multiplayer because it's going to continue to get refined. And as time moves on, that's what I envision Halo 4 being, and then Halo 5 comes out, and then everything returns great and is fantastic again. So
yeah, and it feels like every time a Halo is released, we're like, oh, dude, the next game, man. The next game. But if you look at the trends, like Halo 2 first launched like with that Xbox Live, so that was like great for Halo 2. That put that game on the map. Halo 3 was the first Halo game on the 360. Put that game on the map with, sort of bringing that up. So hopefully Halo 5, it being on the next-gen console, is like that Halo 3 sort of feel to it, where it's the new Halo on the new Xbox, this new experience, and hopefully they do it, do it up, all the bells and whistles on that game. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. It's either gonna do that or it's gonna slice Halo's neck off, because this is the time like 343 had all that code from Bungie, from Reach, and that's what they built the game off of. And this time 343's got to start from scratch. So it's going to be hit or miss, but I'm excited to see what happens. I think they'll nail it. I think they're going to bring in the right people. Hopefully, fingers crossed for John Howard, the guy who made Halo 1 and Shadowrun. If he's working on Halo 5, I'm going to be like the happiest guy in the world, but we'll see. They haven't said anything yet.
I mean, well, Shadowrun was the greatest game like ever. So, Walshy, you know a little bit about that, right?
He pioneered. Walshy was Shadowrun.
Dude, I remember like I love Shadowrun. Like it was my favorite game ever. still to this day think that it was ahead of its time. If
Absolutely
Shadowrun came
was.
out now, if Shadowrun came out now and had like backing and was like actually being pioneered or being put out there as a key franchise, man, Shadowrun would be a massive success, dude. It's such a damn shame. It really
Along
is.
with having they have to have that single player aspect to it where people can actually
Or not charge
Well,
$60 for a multiplayer game. That
Have it be
one
like
of those-
Xbox Live Arcade or something.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the downfall of that game because when I went, I'm like $60. Fuck it, I'm gonna buy it anyway. But like I know a bunch of people that are gonna be like $60. That's way too much for a multiplayer only game.
Yep.
I could see that. But I brought my Shadowrun disc back from New York specifically so I could play it.
Oh, we'll have to play it, dude. I have it sitting right next to me. I was the best thing. We'll close out the show with this. That's pretty much all the Halo topics I think we can get through. But just to recap, if any of you guys leave now, AGL, go watch that. That's this weekend. That's going to be huge. Gamers Outreach Tournament is coming up. That's going to be huge. Halo Council has all your coverage on that. And then MLG, check out Flamesword taking out Warriors at Dallas in Black Ops 2, right? Keep that beef going.
Yeah.
All right, cool, yeah. But the best thing about Shadowrun was trying to explain to someone how badass it was with the shit they put in that game. Like, I remember talking to one of my friends who's like Call of Duty all day because of like the realism of Call of Duty, And I'm like,
That's
I'm like,
policy, by the way. It's totally not real.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, right, man. It has recoil like little guns, and then if you lose health, you just plant a magic tree, and you can get rezzed if you die.
Yeah, he's like, I'm telling him, like, you can pick, like, 4 different races, man, it's awesome, you can be a human, a troll, an elf. He's like, this is the fruitiest sounding game I have ever heard. He's like, you're telling me you put down a seed that grows into a tree, and then, like, pixie dust comes down and heals you? They're like, that's the game? I'm like, I'm like, you're right. All right, you're not buying it. Like, I didn't convince this guy. But yeah.
It was a genius idea, man. It was so balanced. I don't care. It was
Yeah,
stupid.
that's what I hope. John Howard, bring him on for Halo 5, do it up, and this patch I think will fix a lot of stuff because we have potentially a bolt shot balance fix. Hopefully they'll fix the custom game option so that we don't have to instantly respawn in Slayer and Oddball, and that's going to be huge. And then they've also announced that they're going to be redoing how they release playlists. Because originally they had it sort of like on a set schedule where it was just like, oh, this playlist is coming out this week, and then we take out the lowest playlist. And then also DLC. We have new maps coming out that I believe Bravo has led on that they're going to be much smaller. And that Harvest map that they said was the small to medium-sized map was actually like an internal labeling error. Like that wasn't like supposed to be. And then I guess in the interview when with I believe it was Kynan Pearson and IGN, he's like, yeah, this is our, and he kind of pauses, like, small to medium-sized map, and then the other guy's like, it looks pretty big, and he's like, I don't know, like I don't want to go off, like, what it says here, like, it's labeled as, but, yeah, so, they're getting it together. Halo's gonna be fine. I'm excited for all these tournaments. 10 events for AGL, so, everyone's gotta, make it out someplace. I think that'll about wrap it up. That's a good place to end. Light note, lighthearted. Everyone's feeling good. We'll go with shout-outs. Who's got shout-outs? We'll start with Flamesword at the bottom here. What do you got? What do you got for us?
Just everyone who's still playing Halo, be sure to watch the AGL. It should be big. Get that Halo 4 timer if you're noobs like me and don't know any of the times. To the team and Red Bull and everyone who just keeps supporting us.
Nice. Goldenboy?
I wanted to, of course, thank you guys once again for having me. It's been fun to work with you guys on some things, so it's been a good experience. I did want to say that for any Halo fan out there that feels like you need to have something like MLG to legitimize you, it's not the case at all. You legitimize yourself. You're the community. They need you, and just continue to build it up and support AGL. Like really support AGL and what they're doing. And of course, like keep posting on Halo Council. Keep being vocal, right? I mean, like granted, some of you guys have been like really mean to me, but it's okay though. Like I accept it. You're passionate about your game, and I respect the hustle so much. So just can support AGL, do what you can. I know that I will be tweeting. I was actually going to see if I could do like have IGN fly me out to like AGL so I could cast it and help out and run the event, but it was not it was not in the budget. But in any case, so I hope that the Halo community continues to thrive, because as a former Halo Reach competitor and you know, a lover of the game, I want to see it thrive, and yeah, it's basically it. And thank you again.
Yeah.
Also, wait up on Alex's note. Everyone's got to take it easy on 343. They are new to the whole Halo biz and all that. So I mean, we got to stop bashing them hardcore like that, and try to just talk to them, you know, as nicely as possible. I mean, they will do stuff for us. No one will do anything for you if you just keep ranting at them, like a lot of you guys are. So everyone's got to calm down on Twitter or the Halo Waypoint forums and just be nice to them, and then ask nicely, and hopefully, you know, they'll turn things around.
Yeah. Walsh?
So I guess I'll first give a shout out to we'll say Zach Weigel and the Gamers for Giving event that we have coming up here February 16th, that weekend. That'll be a great, fun weekend, so thanks for everyone that's coming out to that. I want to say thanks to everyone who helped with the gaming cart that I raised, that helped me raise the money recently for that, for Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. Also like to say shout out to, let's say, Virgin Gaming and AGL for what they're both doing for Halo right now. They had the big recent tournament that I guess they haven't announced officially yet the winners for the Ford Raptor, and then also AGL for their upcoming event starting this weekend. And surprisingly, I want to give MLG a shout out, not because they dropped the game, but for all the great years that they gave us. I mean, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today without a lot of things that I've done with MLG. So I want to say thanks to them. Yeah. And yeah. Also, I want everyone out there, since I got to practice what I preach, send me some ideas on Twitter, which is @Walshy304, of different content you want to see on my channel. I'll admit at first, I've been slacking like crazy. I think I only have 250,000 views on my channel. But I've been talking with Siren, actually, and I've been trying to think of a way where I can have people send in some films and maybe have some help from the community going through some of these, and then I can commentate on some of the best ones, commentate on some amateur gameplays, whether they're on some of the new playlists or whether it's on the newest competitive settings that we're testing out. I'd love to do anything like that. So please send me any other ideas you have, and I would love to, you know, help whatever way I can.
Nice, yeah. And then just to remind everyone, that's going to get a whole lot easier for both you and Walshy, because the file shares will be fixed by the end of the month. So you're just going to be able to send a link to them instead of saying, oh, here's my gamer tag, it's under this tag, and this and that. So it's going to be a lot easier.
Oh, and I need to plug it. YouTube.com/WalshyCom, and then Facebook.com/Dave Walsh. And I already said my Twitter.
Nice. Yep. All right, and again, guys, all our Twitters are near our cameras somewhere. So give us a follow, hit us up if you have any clarification. If you want to yell at us about something, about how we killed Halo, that's fine, you know. We're all used to it by now, but thanks, guys, for tuning in. We might try to make this show weekly, or we'll just stick to bi-weekly. We're going to see, but again, just follow @the Halo Council on Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube, and we'll keep you updated there. And you're all going to be mad at the article I'm going to post tomorrow on the site, but that's fine. I'm fully expecting it, but I think it's something nice that we have to do to show MLG that, you know, it's not in bad blood, even though it's sort of like a bittersweet goodbye. We still got to, you know, keep love for them, keep supporting them, because there's like next year, you know, we don't want to burn all these bridges and then, you know, have no chance, because we got title updates coming out, we got ranks coming out, we got all this cool stuff coming out. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll talk to you later. Peace.